All right, everybody, time for another video. And I wasn't entirely sure what to do this video on this month. And I just finished a meeting with one of my fiance's colleagues, just quickly sat down with them, chatted a little bit and caught up. And she had told me about the story of her recovery from her car accident over the last couple of months that actually ended up doing quite a bit of damage to her hand. And I realized this month I have come across a lot of people who have gone through some tough situations. A few people who have had to deal with grief and loss and losing a loved one in their life, relationships ending, financial situations, life in general. Life happens to everybody. And I think why I'm making this video is because I was really admiring how everyone was telling the story and their mindset around what had happened. We can't always control the things that happen in our life, but what we can control is our mindset and what we take from those situations. A few months ago, I had finished John Maxwell's book, Sometimes You Lose, Sometimes You Learn, and he was talking about how successful people find positivity in those negative, challenging moments. If anyone saw the video that The Rock put out, I think it was a couple weeks ago, and he was talking about how he got cut from the CFL. And all he wanted to do was play football, but if he didn't get cut from the CFL, it wouldn't have propelled him to where he is now. And his gratitude around that loss. One of his major life dreams cut, and it propelled him to an even bigger dream. And I find that sometimes when these negative things happen in our lives, we can get stuck in those moments, and that moment can cloud the rest of our lives and prevent us from seeing the opportunity in that negative thing. All successful people have that similar story of a hardship that they faced, but how it allowed them to open their mind and look for another opportunity based on that loss or that disappointment. And everyone that I talked to this month who had gone through these tough situations had that mindset. And it's something that is obviously easy to admire and contagious to some degree. So why am I telling you this? Well, I'm telling you this is because it's contagious. If we have that attitude, it's contagious to the kids around us too as well. This week we were doing the Terry Fox run at the school I was at, and one of the boys, a grade 1 boy that I was walking with, he ended up tripping and falling and totally cut his knee up pretty bad. And obviously when he got up to his feet, he was crying and he very, very upset and sore. And unfortunately, we forgot the first aid kits. So we were then forced to walk for blocks with this kid with his bleeding knee and screaming and crying, but we had to do what we had to do. We had to get there. And what I found so interesting, what I learned from this kid is watching his mentality change. At first he was like, who made the sidewall like that? Why is the school so far away? And he was blaming all of these outside situations for the hardships in his life. But by the time we got to the school, excuse me, he had almost forgotten about what had happened. He wasn't crying anymore. He was kind of, he was climbing on rocks. He was fine. Now, obviously, we went to the office and he wanted to get cleaned up, but I noticed that his mindset had changed a little bit. And I had a conversation with him because he was still talking about, woe is me, how could this happen? And I said, well, that happened. I think maybe that happened because it was there to teach us something. It taught me to remember to bring a first aid kit. I learned something from this situation. Your bravery taught me something in this situation. And I think you learned something too as well. I think you learned that sometimes when we get hurt or bad things happen to us, it's not as bad as we think it is. We can usually get through it. And only in our mind is it really, really bad at the moment. But afterwards, we realize that we can push through and we're stronger than we think we are. And I don't know if I really got through to him. It's hard to tell with a 6-year-old how much you're getting through. But I can tell you this. He wasn't talking about the negative thing that happened to him anymore. He was showing people his Band-Aids with a smile on his face and a pride. Yeah, look what I went through, but I'm okay. Not looking at it going, oh, woe is me, feel sympathy for me. In fact, after finished playing, he took all the bandages off himself, looked at him and said, oh, they're not bleeding anymore, I'm good. And I think that can be contagious. Making kids believe that there's positive in every negative can be contagious and really propel them to push through those tough times. Not forget them, not pretend they didn't happen, but learn from those things that allow us to grow into bigger and better people. So my name is PJ from the Awareness Module. That is my video for today. I hope you found some value in it. Please share to anyone that you think might also get value from this. Play, learn, connect.